and we're going to talk about the stock report of these quarterbacks, Chase. These are the ones that you've had your eye on. You've been breaking down all of the film. I'm going to start at the top with many people, and I would say almost unanimously inside the Dallas Cowboys building, believe Dak Prescott is playing at an MVP level right now. When you watch the film, the first thing that jumps out to you is what?
Well, James, I think the thing that stands out most to me is just his poise and control within the pocket. And you just really watch the game, and he's just able to handle situations that maybe a lot of different quarterbacks couldn't handle. And look, going into the season, a lot of people in the media, including myself, were like, hey, you don't have enough receivers, but they went out and got George Pickens. You don't have a run game, that old line, you're losing some people. You know, that defense is, and none of us expected Dallas to even be remotely where they are at right now offensively. A couple things that has to do with is, one, Dak's playing at a crazy level, but two, Brian Schottenheimer, the new head coach, he's calling plays. They're motioning more than they have. They're doing a lot of different things that is like really good for Dak. But when you look at him physically, like just the way he sort of changed his body, and I think that matters, because I do think like he looks in better shape than he ever has been. He's always taking care of his body, but usually as quarterbacks get older, right, they try to fine tune certain things, whether it's, hey, my diet, or I need a customized vitamin plan, or I need, like, I remember when I was at Drew Brees and Drew was at the top of the game. He was the first $25 or $30 million quarterback, whatever it was. He constantly found ways to get better and improve himself. Like after leading the league in passing one year, he comes in the next year, he's like, I gotta get better at this, I gotta get better at that. And with elite quarterbacks, right, there's a big gap between good and elite, but there's an even like really small gap from elite to like Hall of Fame. I'm not saying Dak's a Hall of Fame, but he's elite right now in the way he's playing. And so he's trying to fine tune small little details in his game to do that. And it's just, look, their defense is last in the NFL in yards. They're having to score 35 points a game to even be remotely in stuff. If their defense can turn the corner just a little bit, and I know they have a hard schedule coming up, they got a chance.
Yeah. I'm excited. I was talking to the defense coordinator the other day, Chase, and he was like, he is certainly in the small MVP conversation in his mind of the couple of guys that are up there right now. And if you talk to anybody in Dallas, it's the complete command he has right now. And the thing that was mentioned to me I thought was interesting is that he's using his football IQ at another level than compared to years past, using everything that he has at his disposal. And with both these guys on the field, it's sure helping the run game as well when you got two borderline number ones really out there. I know one's definitely a number one. George Pickens playing right now like a number one.
Unbelievable, dude. He's having a breakout year for sure.
It's been unreal. And that certainly helps Javonte Williams, who's run the ball really well, and it helps Dak stay balanced in terms of what he sees from defenses and what he can do. How about Jalen Hurts? I'm not sure how we can improve on perfection, but that was his passer rating this past week. A perfect passer rating. Jalen Hurts in this Eagles offense scrutinized heavily, though, Chase. What did you see that was maybe different coming out of their little mini bye that they had after their Thursday night game and came out and played pretty well offensively?
Yeah, look, I think there's been a lot of different scenarios and different opinions about Jalen Hurts. For one, the dude is playing the last game. I thought it was probably the best game I've seen him throwing the football. And it was a lot of different things. One, the offense wasn't as predictable. Two, they were under center. I know Jalen Hurts does not like to get under center. I know there's been some stuff like, hey, I want to be in the shotgun. I want to do this RPO type stuff. But when he was under center, that play action bomb to Smitty, I mean, you're throwing the ball to A.J. Brown. You have two of the best receivers in the game. Like, they are one of the top three duos in the game. You just got to find ways to get on the ball. You can't just line up. You can't run these little 5-yard in routes. And then just Jalen Hurts at the line of scrimmage, I thought, was really, really good against a really good Vikings team. And everyone knows, and if you haven't seen the clip of him, hey, pointing like, A.J. Brown, you're hot. And then it's an actual double move. They've been setting that up all game. And look, I think people say I'm one of Jalen Hurts' biggest critics. I just call it as it is. If it's not good, then I'm going to say it. If it's good, you're going to get credit. And I just think he is. Now here's the thing. And here's the thing about this Eagles offense. Can you get Saquon Barkley going? Can you get the run game going? They're one of the worst teams in the league with that offensive line and that run. How in the world do you go from like the very best, one of the best seasons we've ever seen from a running back to really not being able to run the football at all? And it's just putting more on Jalen Hurts' plate. And I think that at times has looked into some of the weaknesses of Jalen Hurts' game, but not this past game against a really good Vikings defense.
Yeah, you're exactly right. 20 snaps under center, the most they've had in a game since week 9 of last year. And you mentioned it there, so I wanted to point it out. Also, when you talk to defensive coaches, and I know you know this, Chase, but really quickly, where does his vertical ball rank? Because I keep hearing just as a vertical thrower, that is maybe one of his biggest strengths.
Yeah, it is. And I do think, like, even the whole time I've been breaking him down, and since he's been starting to play at such a level at the NFL, really, and even going back to his college days, he does throw like one of the better deep balls in the game. I mean, it's just the fourth down to AJ Brown on the double move. Yeah, and it was like one of those where the ball seemed to be in the air forever, but it was on a line, but it was also had like a nice little arc to it and just hit him in stride. And I think that's the biggest thing on these deep balls that a lot of college quarterbacks struggle going to the next level is like, a lot of these college quarterbacks, like they throw the ball up and it's completed, but then they get tackled. Throwing your guy open on these deep post routes or these deep go balls, that's what's the most important thing about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty one to see. I won't deny that. Somebody that's, I don't know how this isn't a perfect passer rating, but when you're Drake May and you have 2 incompletions in a game, you go 21 of 23. And I heard Kurt Warner the other day saying, it's funny he did that and he still left some plays out there. That's how good he was playing and that's how good this offense is working right now. What specifically is working with what Josh McDaniels is asking Drake May to do, and how you're seeing him respond to them kind of, it seems like each week open up more and more for him to do with this offense?
Yeah, and that's exactly right, James. The more I watch this offense, the more it does open up for Drake May. It's almost like Josh McDaniels really didn't give him the full offense. The last couple weeks we've seen the full offense because he's been able to show that he can handle it. The one thing, though, like obviously, like everyone's going to talk about, hey, his completion percentage, 75%, 3 out of every 4 balls he's completing, which is absurd in the NFL. Like 12 touch. Yeah, of course, you're really accurate. I like that. The one thing that's probably stood out to me more than anything is his ability to get hit in the pocket and to still be able to deliver footballs. Dan Orlowski called him Ben Roethlisberger. I don't know if he's that. But what I do know...
That's a big dude right there.
That's a big dude. What I do know with Drake May is like the creativity in the pocket. That's what stands out. He's not taking a ton of sacks. He's able to move around in the pocket and find new platforms and new places to throw. And then here's the thing. He is completing 75% of his passes, right? But he is throwing the football down the field. I saw some crazy stat on throws over like 30 yards. I mean, a good completion percentage on throws over 30 yards would be 30, 40%. I think he's completing like 65, 75% of those throws, which is absurd. And they're hitting their deep shots.
I love it. I love it. And you ask Mike Vrabel or Josh Miller, say the arm angles from different spots. They're moving him a little bit more, right? The play action game, because you know this with young quarterbacks, there's a fear of turning your back to the defense, running the play action, but then now they're moving them and running the bootlegs. And I love kind of the way this has evolved with Josh McDaniels and Drake May. From a young quarterback to an older quarterback, but he's playing. Like age is just a number in Matthew Stafford. 5-2. He is that game in London against a good defense that has played well. And specifically has forced a lot of turnovers. It didn't matter to Matthew Stafford. Is this the best we have seen him play in recent memory?
I do. I think it is. And look, everyone remembers those Lions days of him not winning a lot of games, and rightfully so, because they were just bad overall. Amazing what offensive guru and a play caller, and then these receivers that he has this year in Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, and then also that Kyron Williams is probably one of the most underrated backs in the game. They ask him to do so much. And then Tutu Atwell is like, this is like one of the more underrated receiver trios in the game. And I just think that they're finally, I say finally, here's the thing. The last 2 years, they've started really, really slow, and they've had to sort of claw their way back, and they've been really streaky. here in this year, I just feel like they're just like demolishing folks. Like I just feel like offensively, they're healthy on the offensive line for the most part. Matthew Stafford looks healthy, and he's always ended up being banged up at some point in the year. But those receivers, man, to me, it's one of those things where it's just fun to watch. And then here's the thing that a lot of people understand, but maybe don't think about. Sean McVay's offense is like next level, like smart. Like you have to be an extreme brainiac genius, and that is Matthew Stafford. There's been no quarterback I've been around, including Drew Brees, including Justin Herbert, that is as smart and processes as well as Matthew Stafford does.
Yeah, that's a great point. And he's always made plays. There's always been the big arm. There's always been the explosiveness. There's always been the no-look passes thrown across his body, things like that. Doesn't it have a feel right now where it's like the ball's not even getting put in harm's way while he's doing all of that? I mean, it used to be you got all those explosive plays, and there'd be maybe be a turnover or two. Also in Detroit, he was always forced to make plays because they were probably playing from behind. But right now, it's just like the ball is safe. He's making creative plays. He's accurate. It's been unbelievable to watch, and that division is outstanding. 3 teams at 5-2. To finish things out, the red hot. I don't know if that's a sentence a lot of people have said in recent memory. The red hot Chicago Bears, 4-2.
Unbelievable.
4 straight. They're going to face the Ravens. We know that this run game has been better. We know that came out of the bye, and now they've had, 145 and 222 in their 2 rushing games since the bye, something that Ben Johnson wanted to do, and it's their 2 highs for the season. Obviously, that helps a young quarterback, but how are you seeing Caleb Williams come along? Because I know everybody's fascinated by this one, Chase, because the stats are almost through 6 games identical to last year, but you see him as a better player than he was last year.
Oh, it's not even close, in my opinion. Like the stats might be the same, but if you watch and you break down what this offense is trying to do, one, make no mistake about it, they are a run-first team, and they have been scheming up things left and right for like Swift and all these guys to get rolling. And I do think it's one of those things where you watch the Bears, and there's a physicality about them offensively. James, not defensively, offensively, and it finally looks like a Detroit Lions run game scheme. They've sort of figured out, hey, this is our identity. And when you look at Caleb, right, like less than 60% of his passes in 3 consecutive games have been completed, but he's not making the big mistake. And people out there have to understand that progress isn't always just like, oh, we're going up. It can be linear. It can go down. It can go, it's not linear. It can go up. It can go down. It can go up. It can go. It's not like, oh, you're just going to be here the whole time. And I probably see it a little bit different, but these Chicago Bear fans are like, hey, this. I mean, dude, you're 4-2. You're 4-2. You've won 4 straight games. Shut up. Like it'll be fine. I do think that this is a good problem to have when you feel, and I'm sure Caleb feels and Ben Johnson feels, that your quarterback's not playing up to the way he can play, and you're still 4-0 in the last 4, and you've still got this run game, and your defense still leads the league in takeaways. So that is a good thing, because Caleb is just going to continue to get better. And if they do, it's a very tough division, but I mean, things are getting spicy and crazy in Chicago, man. It's impressive.
I love it. I mean, it seems like the offensive line has come and gelled together, specifically in that run game. You look at the yards before contact. I mean, the last 2 games, it's over 4 yards before contact. I mean, that's impressive of the big boys up front. And he has been good against the blitz. I would say that's something Caleb has done pretty well. It's been pretty good against the blitz, and I think that's a spot you could also
crap out of him, and it was impressive to like.
He really was.
There were free runners left and right, and it was like, all right, man, you got it.
Yeah, there it is. Behind the stat, you got to go past these stats. Chase will give you the real goods, guys. Don't just look at the box score. Come on.